I am incredibly fond of the Fatal Frame series. They are some of the most terrifying horror gaming experiences a person could ever have. As a matter of fact, one of my most nostalgic gaming nights was spent with my buddy Alan as we binge ate containers of what we dubbed our stress food and marathon through Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, and shit ourselves a whole bunch of times. In fact, I soft modded my Wii solely so I could buy the Wii remake of Fatal Frame 2 that was only released in Europe and Japan. So yeah, to say I'm a fan is a bit of an understatement. So you can imagine my equal parts excitement and skepticism when I heard a Fatal Frame movie was being made. We know that video games and movies don't ever mix. And I never got around to seeing it when it was new, but as part of Frighttober I figured what the hell, let's tackle it. Right off the bat, let me get something out of the way that most fans are probably not aware of before they dive into this movie. It's not based on the video games. Not entirely, anyway. Rather than being based on any of the stories within the games universe, for some reason I can't even fathom, they based it on a spin-off novel called Zero, A Curse Affecting Only Girls. So, Fatal Frame takes place in an all-girls Catholic boarding school where the most popular girl in the entire school, named Aya, for reasons unknown, decides to lock herself up in her room. A girl with a hardcore crush on Aya kisses a photo of her at midnight and vanishes soon after. Eventually, a ton of the girls in the school become horny for Aya's photo and begin obsessing over it, while they start seeing apparitions of Aya in their daily lives. Now, you might be wondering, where the hell does the most signature item of the entire game franchise fit into that? Well, I'll get into that later. Visually, this movie is really well shot. The reason I'm pointing this out is because many Japanese horror films have this really amateur look to them, where it sort of looks like you're watching just a bigger budget YouTube video rather than an actual movie. This movie doesn't have that problem. It actually looks and feels like a film. There are some genuinely really cool looking shots in this movie. That being said, this movie is just not scary. You'd think some of the scariest games ever made would translate into a terrifying horror movie, but this one just doesn't. It's got an atmosphere to it, a sense of unease that kind of permeates the entire movie, but it's not at any point scary. There are very brief moments where it looks like it might get scary, but it never delivers, which I'm not gonna lie, was pretty damn disappointing. I wanted to shit my pants. So let's talk about the camera obscura, the most central part of what makes Fatal Frame, well, Fatal Frame. It's in this, a little kid carries around. But not one single time is it actually used to capture any spirits, nor does it serve any sort of purpose in the plot at all. It's literally just kind of there as a prop for reasons that make no sense. This didn't need to be called Fatal Frame. In fact, if it hadn't been called Fatal Frame, you would never have seen any connection between this and the games, other than the use of the camera in like 2 or 3 scenes. Honestly, the movie Shutter is more of a Fatal Frame movie than Fatal Frame is. Is it a bad movie? No, it's not bad at all. I mean, it's incredibly slow, but well acted and beautiful to look at, and does a good job of portraying lesbian relationships in Japan, but it's not something I honestly think people expecting the games translated to film are gonna like. But if you're just looking for a slower, atmospheric, supernatural mystery and can ignore the weak Fatal Frame connection, you may enjoy this. This feels like one of those movies that would get released over here with like Guillermo del Toro presents on its poster. Not directed by, just presents, if that makes any sense. But hey, I mean, if you like Japanese Catholic schoolgirls, here you go.